I'm beginning to think that if we all talked more with each other, that we could solve a lot of the things we're all trying to handle in isolation.
So one is to approach the process with dignity. Another is to remember that education, from a Freudian sense, is an act of love, which is that we need to have high expectations for one another. We need to rigorously engage, and we also need to have the support for one another in this process, which also means that we have to, when engaging in these courageous conversations, we need to make sure that the support involves forgiveness as well as solidarity. And this process that we've gone through is, I go back again to praxis, that it's about knowledge, reflection, and action. So the action component is important as well, and often gets left out. So then how do we take this embodied experience and enact it in our classrooms, in our daily lives, in our interactions with other colleagues, in our national organizations that we belong to as educators. And then finally, if someone were to ask me, what is the model for the practice of this group? And I really connect it to the Maori Spiral Discourse Model, which is that in the beginning is a long welcome. So it was important for us to develop the relationships with one another so that we could create that safe space to have the conversations that we had, writing our I am from poems, and getting to know one another and committing ourselves to one another and being responsible to one another as well. And then the next would be then we're storying and restorying. So this notion of our personal narratives and our collective narratives as faculty members and our experiences in terms of diversity and issues of equity. And that process leads us to meaning making. So that at this point, I feel like we're in that process of meaning making. So if someone were to want to do this kind of work, it's important that we come together and create some themes or look for issues that we want to engage with. So we did that as a group. We wanted to talk more about language and power, also about narratives, the importance of narratives in the classroom. And so faculty members have brought in their research or what they're doing in their classrooms, and we're engaging with that, as we're also kind of doing the meta engagement of sente pensante, thinking and feeling pedagogy. And that once we come to some understanding of some meaning, that it doesn't stop there, that we can adapt that meaning. We spiral through, we adapt it, we retell the story, we can delete some stories, we can create new meanings, and that hopefully that reflexive praxis of going back to what we were thinking and feeling and re-examining that is where I hope that we move forward to in the future. So I see our spiral continuing in that way, possibly through our research or possibly just through our continued collaboration.